for stopping Iran very simply from having a nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
So
I want Iran to be great and prosperous and terrific. I stopped them once they were broke. And
so Donald Trump has come out and said that the United States will not do any business with anybody that purchases oil from Iran. He didn't mention natural gas. They produce a lot of natural gas too, but I would assume natural gas would be in that same category. It's hard to determine who is purchasing oil from Iran because the way the business is done, since they have sanctions placed on them, is most of those shipments just say they're destined for China, even though they're not. And so we believe it's China, the UAE, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Turkey, right? These are countries that we believe are getting things from Iran. But the bigger, more difficult issue here is the fact that Iran exports a pretty large amount of oil on a daily basis, and taking this oil off the market would definitely leave us in a woefully undersupplied state. That oil production would have to be made up somewhere. We're talking about over 2 million barrels of oil a day. And look, if you go look up Iran's oil exports, it won't be 2 million barrels a day, but that's because the oil is sanctioned and there's a lot of dark oil coming out of Iran that we don't know about, that we can't find out about it. So you may see reports of 1.5 million barrels a day, 1.7 million barrels a day. I'm telling you, it's over 2. And even though that oil is not all reported and accounted for on the global market, it would certainly have an impact if it was taken off the global market for sure. I don't know that we will actually see any of this oil come off the global market. I think this is actually a negotiating tactic by Donald Trump. With that being said, there was a ton of oil sanctioned under the last Trump administration that actually physically came off the market. But he's working towards a nuclear deal. He didn't do that last time. Last time he tore it up, and now he wants the nuclear deal. If he gets a nuclear deal, they'll still be able to sell oil. And that gives him a couple of things that he wants. It helps keep oil prices in check and may prevent a nuclear weapon from being built in Iran if it hasn't already happened. So it is possible that we see Iranian oil come off of the market, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll make some kind of deal. If it does, oil prices will climb precipitously. Yes, I needed to use a big word today just so I could feel better about myself. Anyway, that is when Donald Trump would go to OPEC and ask them to increase production even more to make up for that. Now, we've been through this before. Get OPEC to increase production and then place waivers on Iran. That floods the whole market. We have an oil market crash. This is what happened in the first administration. Could potentially be happening again. Thanks.